Good evening, my name is Goya Dan, and I'm going to speak tonight about green roofs for Saskatchewan. So, there are two different types of green roofs that are usually referred to, extensive and intensive. So extensive green roofs are like the ones shown here, and they're typically shallow growing medium, so 4 to 20 centimeters, and that makes them lightweight, and they sometimes don't need irrigation, and because some of them are so thin, like the one up on top there, the plant palette is quite restricted. In that case, there's only mosses and sedum. And they can be very low maintenance, but they all require some maintenance, especially right at the beginning. And they're the less expensive type of green roof. And they may be accessible, but they are often also just there because of their benefits to ecological benefits and such, and then they're not visible. So the other type is intensive, and these are more like rooftop gardens. They have deep growing medium, they're heavy and pretty well always irrigated. And they support all types of vegetation, including trees. And high maintenance, more expensive, and often you can go up onto them, and they provide amenity space. So here are some of the ecological benefits of green roofs. The stormwater management, it means that it's behaving a bit like a sponge, so it absorbs the rain, and whereas a conventional roof would be sending it straight to the drain, and would have a peak flow, which would be, putting a lot of pressure on the storm sewer system, and so this holds the water and then releases it slowly. And thermal performance, they reduce the heat flow through the roof, so in the summertime you can actually keep quite cool underneath a green roof. Membrane protection is, I think, probably one of the most important benefits of a green roof, because a conventional green roof, or a conventional roof, needs to be replaced every 20-25 years, and green roofs, because the mass of soil there protects the membrane, and it reduces the temperature fluctuations during the day, so that's what makes a membrane expand and contract, and then that causes cracking. So that's how they end up wearing out, and this will just minimize that. And a lot of the green roofs in Germany, for instance, that have been put up in 30, 40 years ago are still there and not having to be replaced. And it's hard to know exactly how long they'll last, because it's kind of a new type of construction, and the membranes have been improved a lot since, and so it could be 40, 50, 60 years that they last before they need replacement. There's lots of other benefits, and I'll just skip right down to the last one there, environmental image. This is an ad I found in a magazine just a little while ago, and it's to visit California. That's the green roof at the Academy of Sciences building in San Francisco, and it's designed to use local plants and also to attract an endangered butterfly. So it's just kind of interesting that they use green roofs as a sort of tourist attraction. Green roofs in Saskatchewan, they're is a historical precedent for green roofs here. There were the sod roofs. About maybe 100 years ago they had these. And this is one near Langham. And they probably would have been using sod to mitigate temperatures, both in summertime, maybe it helps in winter as well, and perhaps also for ballast. I'm not too sure what their waterproofing would have been at that time. I know in Scandinavian sod roofs they had in the past used birch bark. So as far as recent projects, there have been a few, but not that many. This is the first is a T-Rex Center in East End. It's built into the slope, and so I, consider that a green roof. There were test plots built on a dentistry building, and they're still there. That was interesting, but just test plots. It's not that they're 10 feet by 10 feet. And the College of Law is the main project, the first large-scale extensive green roof that was built in the province, and that was in 2007. I'll talk more about that later. Oh, hold on. Also, the lab addition is another large project that was built the year after, so I'll talk about that one too. And this photograph at the bottom is of an edible rooftop garden that was installed at the Pinnacle apartment building in Saskatoon. And so it just shows you, that would be more of an intensive type of green roof, and experiments with urban agriculture. So I'll begin with the lab edition. It's at the University of Regina, and this is on top. There's an auditorium underneath, and then a building that's the building at the south side of it. So it casts shade on the roof, and it's about 5 stories above the roof level. So when I was working on the planting plan, I had the idea of fields, but then I also looked at what the shade situation would be on that roof, and so that's how I ended up dividing the space by the shade and sun and partial shade. And so that one is using a Hydrotech green roof system.
So that would be considered an intensive?
This one, it's kind of borderline, I would say. Yeah.
A little bit extensive.
It's semi-intensive, let's say. There is also that category.
Okay.
So 20 centimeters and irrigated. And there it is under construction. David Powell is a landscape architect in Regina who I was working with on this project, and P3 Architecture were the architects. So this one actually has a mineral mulch, and we specified 2 different colors, but they ended up only using 1 color, so it sort of changed the design a little bit.
So mineral mulch, you need
It kind of like I think it was a lava rock that was used in the end there. Yeah, it prevents weeds from getting established and keeps the moisture underneath and so on. And there it is, a year after installation. This is the sunny side, that's the shady side.
So about how many different types of plants were you able to grow?
Use on there? Oh, there is probably at least 20, maybe 20 plants there. different types.
Oh, okay.
And last year, so for instance, there's irises and elephant ears and sedums are the most common green roof plant, and there are a few of them that are hardy enough in our climate, luckily. So then the College of Law at the University of Saskatchewan, here it is, there's the river, there's health sciences, construction, and you can obviously view it from up high. This is from the 10th floor of the Arts Tower. And the building is LEED Gold certified, and we used a Sopra Nature Jarnam system, so that's from Suprema. They do roofing materials, and so we use their waterproofing material as well as the green roof layers that they manufacture. And in this case, it was 15 centimeters deep and also irrigated. And then after it was built, I did a 3-year vegetation monitoring study on it to see which plants would survive and how quickly they spread. There's the initial planting design. This is the Native Law Center is right beneath there, and that's a lantern, so it lets light down into